Today is February 18, 2015, and as people can see, I got my hair cut, and the price of silver went down. And I know that there is a correlation between me cutting my hair and the price of silver. Well, there are, only a few data points. It just happened that way. But we'll just pretend that I have control of the silver market, so I apologize for getting a haircut. I was selfish, and I didn't mean to tank the silver market. I didn't mean to tank it, but I got my hair cut. Okay, so seriously, back on the serious topic here. Mike, you know who I'm talking about, who I did a video a few years ago about Mike changed my life. He did a recent video about complaining about him being regulated because he is considered a primary dealer for the U.S. Mint, because he said in his video that he sold 7% of the U.S. Mint's Silver Eagles of that year. He didn't say which year, but considering this bull silver market, I would say it was either 2010, 11, or 12, or 9, 10, 11, 12, or that range, essentially that range. So he bought up 7% of all the Silver Eagles that year. He added a premium and sold them to his customers. Which, of course, a person in business has to make a profit. But he was in business because of the government's inefficiency and because he was subsidized by the taxpayer. The U.S. Mint operates at a loss. The U.S. Mint loses money. The taxpayer, us, we subsidize the U.S. Mint to make coins, and they make it at a loss. What that means is that bullion dealers make a big profit. So you have this government agency operating at a loss, and you have bullion dealers coming in making big profits. So let's look at the last few years. Okay, 2009, over 30 million Silver Eagles were minted. 2010, over 35 million. 2011, over 40 million. 2012, over 34 million. You get the point. So 7% is that's over 2 million Eagles for one of those years. At a $3 premium, which is a very rough estimate, that's over $6, over $7, or even $8 million of revenue for one product that was made for 1 year. Because these dealers do more than just sell 2010 Eagles. They sell Eagles from previous years. They sell bars. They sell maples. They sell many products. They sell gold jewelry. They sell a lot of things. And you pay a premium. Now, when I first got into gold and silver, I was like, hey, how come it's so hard to get these Eagles at the mint from spot price? Well, the reason why is because the bullion dealers are first in line, and they buy up all the inventory so they sell out. So the bullion dealers buy up all the inventory for it sells out because it's easy money. They make $3 a coin. They buy these coins, and they sell them to us for $3 or more, or a little less or more. That's a rough estimate. And the ones who are still in business did it without market risk, because they buy, say he'll buy in a year, he'll buy, he'll buy $8 million, $7 million of that 1 year for that one product. Well, they short silver for that amount. So you buy $8 million of Eagles, and you short $8 million of silver. So if the market price goes up, you get your loss back from shorting silver. If the market price goes down, you make money shorting. So the market risk is gone for you. Whether or not silver goes up or down, your inventory is the same price. You make money by doing $3 a coin. And these coins you don't make. Someone else makes these coins at a loss for you, and you sell the coins for big profit. So you're taking advantage of the government's inefficiency, and you're making a big profit. And the taxpayer is footing the production costs. And then, on top of it, these guys like Mike make videos complaining about how bad the system is, complaining about how corrupt the government is, complaining about these things, when they would not exist if the system was efficient and smart. They found a point of incompetence, and they exploited it and at the same time, they're complaining about it to everybody else. And now he's complaining about having to be regulated. So he exploits the taxpayer, essentially. And then he complains he has to get regulated. Because, I mean, this is easy money for these dealers, right? It's easy money. It's so easy. We can't do it because I don't have, you know, I couldn't buy up, you know, millions and millions of Silver Eagles. And then I couldn't I didn't have millions of dollars to short the COMEX, which is what these guys are doing. Or even billions for, I mean, I don't know the number for some of these guys, but millions upon millions. I can't do that. And then the guy does a video crying about how corrupt the system is. He wouldn't have any profits if the system was running smoothly. It's mind blowing, mind blowing. So and that's just one product for 1 year. That doesn't include gold products. That only includes Silver Eagles for that 1 year. One guy bought up 7% of all the Silver Eagles, so that we, you know, these bullion dealers bought up all the Eagles, so they're sold out. And then these bullion dealers try and say, oh, there's a shortage. No, these dealers bought up all the Eagles, so we couldn't buy them from the mint, and they sell them to us for a premium. Now, I'm not saying that what they're doing is illegal or wrong. I'm just saying this is an arbitrage that exists in the marketplace, and they're exploiting it. And my complaint is that they're complaining. They're complaining about how wrong it is, but if it was not wrong, they wouldn't be making these huge profits. So I'll tell you something else. The last few years, I've had like no anxiety. No anxiety. There are times in life where I get panic attacks. It's very common. Everyday people can get panic attacks from many things. I've discovered that when I believe something that is false, and I pass on what is false, that manifests as anxiety and even panic attacks. And for a few years, that happened. Hasn't happened in a few years because see. How do you know if you're believing and repeating nonsense? I have an internal mechanism called the anxiety. Now, there are many causes of anxiety, but for me, I discovered that when I believe nonsense and repeat nonsense, I get this anxiety and I get panic attacks. When I leave Plato's cave, it's gone. Plato's cave, all right, so there's this whole thing about Plato's cave. I did a video on this a few years ago. Essentially, what Plato's cave means is that if you're in this cave and you're in this little artificial world, right? When you leave the cave, you don't even think about the artificial world, right? So I was in Plato's cave in this whole gold silver thing for a few years. Now that I left the cave, I'm looking back thinking, what happened in the cave was irrelevant, right? So Plato's cave for me was this whole argument about being about this stuff I was talking about like silver a few years ago. I was in Plato's cave. But when the real world comes knocking, what happens to your wallet, that gets me out of Plato's cave. There are some people who are in Plato's cave, and even though they're having real world impacts on what they're believing, they're still in Plato's cave. I'm in Plato's cave. And when the price goes up and I'm making money, I'm enjoying Plato's cave. When I start losing money, I'm leaving Plato's cave. Okay, maybe that last part might be too abstract, but I just want to say, that's my opinion, and it's subject to change. But my opinion right now my opinion does not cause anxiety, so maybe I'm onto something. Okay, thanks for watching, and be well.